Please hashtag replay. It's always nice for me to know who's watching when and how. And yeah, otherwise we can get this show on the road. Hi and welcome everybody. So today's topic, I've had several conversations with some amazing women recently, and it's a fact. Our minds and our bodies are so connected, and it goes both ways. By the way, there is a saying, healthy body, healthy mind, but it also works the other way around. It's also a healthy mind, healthy body, and that makes it a bit difficult when we struggle with things, whether it is with our mind or with our body, to truly determine where is the issue that we're facing. If we want to fix it, where do we start? What do we do? I went through a time when my body was not happy. I can now reflect back and I know for a fact that it was because my mind wasn't healthy. And I could tie it back now, hindsight, to the stress and the anxiety I was under back then. Because we go through life and we just kind of cope. We kind of handle everything. We kind of, live for everybody. We never really, as women, we don't stop and look at ourselves and allow ourselves to handle our traumas and feel into things, and because we've got to be these power women. So the question is, where does hormones come into play? Now, I'm not a specialist in terms of hormones or physical things, particularly around the the female body. But I think it's still important for us, because we get to a time in our lives when these words like menopause and perimenopause and all these words gets thrown at us. And here's the one thing that I really, really feel extremely strongly about, and whether it is physical illnesses, whether it's mental illnesses, is the whole labeling thing. So that's the very first point I want to make, is the whole labeling thing. I think that it has its benefits, of course, particularly when we talk about illnesses. But hello Chantal, oh welcome. I do these live so I can connect with my daughter, not really speak to her often, but anyway. So the thing is, when we label something, when we name something, there's a whole chain of events that happens for us without us even knowing what is happening. And what happens when you label things, and particularly when it pertains to yourself, is your brain. If I say I am menopausal, my brain is hearing I am menopausal. So our brains are extremely powerful. Our brains will do anything to prove what you said, what you apparently believe, to confirm that. So the more you label, and that's just an example, the more you label yourself, the more do you become that. I encourage you to refraining from yourself, from labeling yourself. You are not menopausal. You might have menopausal stuff happening to you. You might have that, that period of your life. Yes, of course. But I am not menopausal. Do not become your illness. You have to differentiate between whatever you're feeling and wherever you're at and who you truly are. Because the more you're going to identify who you are, if you're hormonal, if you're feeling hormonal, saying I am hormonal, you're identifying with a hormonal person. And maybe you might not mean it that way, to that extent. But believe me when I say your brain is taking it on, and you will start behaving hormonal. It's that powerful. And a silly example of identifying with someone is, how often have we heard the example of this guy who maybe looks a little bit pale on the day, and someone comes to him and he says, "Oh, you look sick, or how are you feeling? Are you feeling okay?" And the first time he kind of thinks about it, and he might be feeling quite fine. And the first time he hears that, he would say, "Actually, no, I'm okay." And another person will come. But by the fifth or the sixth time, when someone comes and says, "You really look sick," I mean, this guy is going to start feeling sick. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Because that's his new belief. Whether he's feeling sick or not. Someone tells you, "You look tired." You might not feel tired at that moment. But when the third or the fourth person comes to you and says, "You look really tired, are you okay?" You're going to start feeling tired. That's how powerful it is. It's a good thing, but it works against us too. So that's the first thing I want to say. Don't label yourself. Do not, in whatever, whether it is mentally, whether it is physically, don't label yourself. Please remove yourself from whatever it is that you are going through. So I thought I'm just going to throw some signs out there of someone who has a hormonal imbalance. And these are, and again, this is just my research. I am not a specialist in this, but as far as I understand, hormonal imbalance is mood swings, painful periods, low libido, insomnia or poor sleep, unexplained weight gain, skin problems, fertility problems, headaches, weak bones. I used to get headaches every single month, without fail, before I had my period. It was unexplained to me because my headaches started in my neck. I mean, what does your neck have to do with hormones? Okay, I still don't understand it because, again, I'm not a medical person, but were those really hormonal headaches? Were they? Or did they eventually become something that I expected to happen every month? Because it's been happening every month. I firmly believe in the ability of us to heal ourselves, by the way. I believe also in our ability to make ourselves sick. I do believe our minds have a power over our bodies, and it's been proven. So those are some of the signs of hormonal imbalance. I'm going to say that if you have tried certain things, because the question is, are you feeling stuck in terms of where you are at with your life? Are you really feeling stuck? I mean, that's the question. How do you know when you're feeling stuck? How do you know when someone says, oh gosh, are you stuck? I mean, do you even know what that means? What does it mean for you? So, is that feeling that you have, that might be, I'm feeling stuck, does that have to do with your hormones? Because we are hormonal beings. We are. It's true. Our hormones impact us. My opinion is that if you are not able to change it, if you try to do something about it, if you're having mood swings and you have tried meditating, if you have tried things to uplift your mood and you're actually just not able to do that, then it might be a hormonal thing, might be a physical thing. I am a firm believer of trying natural before you go anywhere, and I know there's a place for medicine, but I would say if you're not sure whether you have a hormonal imbalance, apart from obviously getting tested, just try and do the natural way. And if you see you cannot find the actual natural reason, or it doesn't work, or there's absolutely no change, but you tried it, like really tried it, then yeah, it could be the hormonal thing. So let's go through a list of what I can talk about is what is it like when you feel stuck? What is it like to be stuck? To be truly stuck? So here are the things. It's a lack of motivation. Like I cannot motivate myself anymore to go to work. I just can't motivate myself to go to work anymore. A lack of self-love. A lack of self-love is not hormonal. If you don't feel the love for yourself, then there's a mental reason, and you've got to look into that. If you really cannot, if you just cannot feel that love, then that is something that needs to be addressed. If you procrastinate, if you get all these bright ideas and you think, I want to do that, I want to do that, but you end up talking yourself out of it, then you are stuck, my dear. If you're wondering whether there is something more to life, if you're looking at your life and you think, is this it? Really? Is this it? Is this all there is to life? Then you are feeling stuck. If you feel like you have lost hope for your future, if you've lost hope for your future, then you're feeling stuck. If you feel you've outgrown your circumstances, and I want to use this as an example because we tend to, here's what women do. From a very young age, we get conditioned, okay? We play games that conditions us to become a certain type of woman, to a person. And yeah, it varies, of course, between cultures, but there's a trend. So we have this picture in our minds. We have a picture of a guy coming to rescue us. We have a picture, and particularly my generation, we have a picture of the man as the head of the house, and the women might or might not work. My mom was at that point actually one of the minority of mothers that did work. You have a picture in your head of a white picket fence, of having a family. You know, this perfect fairy tale picture. Our generation, my generation, then things changed, and suddenly we realized that, okay, we've got to work, we've got to have careers, we have to work, And but we also still had kids, and we also still raised kids. We were also still at the running the household. We were also still organizing everything, on top of driving kids around to school and from school, going back to work after having had a baby. So women's duties and responsibilities increased tenfold. And this is not a martyr kind of, I feel so sorry for women. These are facts. It's true. Women are also the caregivers. Women are also the ones that take responsibility for everybody and wants to make sure everybody is okay. So what I want to say is that our responsibility and feeling of responsibility tenfold increased. We also kind of were, it became a thing on whether you want to be career driven or whether you want to be, whether you want to be home and raise kids. And each one actually had a stigma to it. So it didn't matter what you decided to do, you had to kind of explain yourself. Like, okay, why would you not want children? Why would you not want to pursue a career? Every single decision that we actually made in terms of our futures and the rest of our lives kind of got criticized. Men had a different. Men had always had the role of the head of the house. They always had they were the provider. They always used to work. They always used to be the grafters. Nothing changed for them. And again, this is not a men versus women thing. This is not I feel so sorry for women. This is just putting everything into reality, that if you are at a point where you are feeling stuck, trust me when I say you are not alone. You are so not alone. I speak to so many women. And women don't want to voice this, because the moment they voice it, just getting a reality check and checking in, am I alone or am I not alone in this, then we kind of get criticized for, oh, you know what, I couldn't believe it. The other day on LinkedIn, I saw a post of a woman who had twins, and she was lying next to one of her babies, cute little babies, and she said something about having to go back to work. I don't know, she said something. It wasn't a complaint. It was just a reality check. I cannot believe that there were actually men on there that said, yeah, ladies, you wanted this, you wanted the careers, now suck it up. That was not what the post was about. The post was about a reality check. This is our reality. We get to a point where we are exhausted, where we feel stuck, when we start thinking, is there more to life? Really, is this it? I don't want to generalize, but when there's a divorce, most of the time, the women raise the kids, and that is not. It was not a problem for me. I did it as a single mom. Yes, I had many challenges. Yes, my kids had many challenges because of it. We all survived. It wasn't easy. I love them dearly. I love being a mum. But that's the reality. That is what happens. Being a single mom, making single decisions, being the only person to make decisions, I always used to say, oh, this will be a breeze. If I didn't have to decide whether my child was sick enough to go to school or not go to school, whether, oh, Mom, I'm so sick, I don't feel well, I want to stay at home. In that second, you have to make a decision. Is this real or is it fake? Do I send him? I most of the time did send them, bless their souls. Yeah, it's okay, the teacher will phone me if you're not okay. I'll come and fetch you. Sometimes it would have just been easier to say, okay, fine, no problem, stay at home. But that comes with different kinds of challenges, because now you're kind of worried about them alone, if they are alone at home, or whatever your circumstances are. So this is not a complaint session, this is a reality check-in. That if you are feeling stuck in any shape or form, in your career, in your family, in your work, in your environment, or if you've come through the whole, lifespan of raising kids, having the career, having the husband, and you're now wondering, shoot, what have I done for me? What have I done for me? What have you done for you? You're not alone. It's okay. It's okay to acknowledge that perhaps you're stuck for now. If you have outgrown the relationships that you are in, we do get to a time in our lives when we start reevaluating our relationships. Not only talking about spouse, I'm talking about all our relationships. Friends, who do I want in my life? That's okay. It's okay. If you don't want toxic people in your life, you don't have to have them in your life. Really don't have to. Doesn't make you a better person, by the way. Sucking it up. I feel I'm a little bit off track, but I just feel that, and I don't know if I'm wrong, and please help me if I'm wrong, but I just feel that it is so easy for us as women to say, oh, it's the hormones, I'm not feeling it because of the hormones, I'm not, and yeah, sometimes it is, and sometimes it's just us being women. Sometimes it's just, we don't have to be chirpy and happy and amazing all the time. We all have our moments. I'm a prime example. I had a meltdown last week? Feels almost like 2 weeks ago, could be. We all have those, because we do life in this human world of missing people, not having people with us. So that is also okay. I'm going to continue on the list of things that will confirm that perhaps you are stuck, but ladies, there's one thing that is really, really crucial to happiness, to peace, to being calm, to being content in your life, and that is acceptance. And I feel I need to talk more about acceptance at this point, because we think acceptance is rolling over and dying. We think acceptance is weakness, being weak. But it is completely the contrary. If you are able to accept, if you can learn to accept, you will have the power. You will get the freedom, you will get the peace, you will get the contentment, you will get the happiness. If you can learn to accept, if you can learn to accept and stop resisting, because that's the opposite of accepting, is that resistance. What we resist persist. Think about it. If you are struggling with what you believe are hormones or menopause, perimenopause, or whatever you are struggling with, the more you're going to resist it, the more is it going to persist. Promise you. If you wake up with a backache in the morning, do not resist it. Do not resist it. Accept it. Thank you very much, universe, for bringing me that backache. This ache in my back. There's a reason for it to be there. Perhaps I'm not supposed to work today. Perhaps I am supposed to give my body a rest, which it so richly deserves. Do not question it. Do not, just accept it. Accept it. Do something about it. Go and lie down. Meditate. Manifest. Heal yourself. A couple of weeks ago, I did a talk for a group of people. Without thinking, I do have a physical degeneration in my back, etc. So I'm supposed to have pain every day of my life. Without thinking, we were sitting on the floor, like in a position, in a yoga position. I didn't give it much thought. But it was about a period of 2 hours. And the next day was a weekend still, and I woke up and I could barely walk. I could not actually, the pain was, had to hang on to the walls to not put pressure on my back. It was my intention to work that day, and I just handed it over. I just accepted it, that okay, fine. And I know we can't always do that. I have full understanding that we cannot always just say, I'm out of here. I understand that completely. But sometimes, not always, sometimes we create the challenge. Because we say yes to everybody else and everything else before we say yes to ourselves. So next time when something like that happens, think long and hard. What is your body trying to tell you? Think long and hard what your options are, and who can you say no to in order to say yes to yourself. Because that is what we deserve, and that is what we have to do. That is, if we want to live meaningful, long, fulfilled lives, happy lives, content, peace, you've got to start saying yes to yourself. So I meditated that day, and I spent time on my back, and I nurtured it. I gave it some love, and the next day I got up, and it was like there was no problem at all. No pain, no nothing, literally nothing. That is the power. That's the power that we have to give ourselves love and attention, healing. So, continuing, so accept what it is. Acceptance doesn't mean I am just rolling over and dying, everybody can do. It's much more powerful than that. Acceptance is saying, thank you for the signs, thank you for what I have. Okay, now what? Now what? What's next? Acceptance is the opposite of resistance. So the other way we know when we are stuck is when we feel like if we start making changes, we're going to be judged. That was a big theme in my life. A huge theme in my life. Without me even realizing it. I did not know that I was being guided by what other people thought of me throughout my life, in everything that I did. I was always more worried about what do they think, what would they say. I can literally sit here today and say, you know what, if this message is not for you, if you don't like the way I do my video, if you don't like the way I speak, if you don't like what I say, it's okay, you can just scroll by. It's fine. It's not going to change my world. At all. I do believe that there are people, though, that needs to hear this. I had some powerful conversations between yesterday and today with women. And if you are in the same kind of space as me, if you are someone who's motivating people, just do not stop, because some way someone will listen and hear your message, I hope. Being stuck also means you're disconnected from your values, and I speak about this so much, knowing your values, knowing who you are. Being steadfast in who you are. One of your values is fairness, and that's such an easy example. If one of your values is fairness, then you will always get angry and upset if someone is treated unfairly. Always. You will. It will upset you, and you wouldn't even, if you don't know what your values are, you won't even know why you just got upset. You will not understand it. If you know what your values are, then you know, oh, that's where it's coming from, and it's okay. I'm okay. It's okay for me to be upset. Because I know that thing is very, very important to me. When you're in a place of stuckness, I could probably say that you don't know what your true values are. And if you don't know what your true values are, then figure it out. Ladies, it's time. It's time to start stepping into our power. It is time for us to become unstuck. There is always a way out. There is always a way out. If you are sitting with fears, like real fears, and you know, I often hear people say, when people start a sentence with, you're going to think I'm silly. Then I know that something profound is coming. Because we feel silly in our fears. We feel like, you know, this is such a silly thing to be afraid of. People are going to think I'm stupid. People are going to think I'm weak. Face your fears. Talk about your fears. Bring them to the surface. Don't dwell on them. Don't own them and say, I am, you know, I'm afraid of spiders. Try not to label it, but you've got to bring it up. If you're going to just sit there with your fears and not tell anybody about it, and you're just going to keep it to yourself and be fearful of this thing, nobody knows. Then how's that helping you? How's that working out for you? It's not. Because that fear is not just going to go away. You're not going to flick a switch and say, okay, be gone. There's a reason why you have that fear. That fear is coming from something. There's a story, there's a history, there's a belief behind it, and underneath it there's something there. And until you find that thing and do something about it, if you're feeling overwhelmed or burnt out, you're probably feeling stuck. That's not necessarily a hormonal thing. Hormonal thing is, yeah, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm brain fogged. If you're procrastinating, same thing as talking yourself out of change. So I don't know if that helped. I would love some comments. But I think it's really, really important that if you're feeling stuck in any shape or form, in any aspect of your life, that acknowledge it, accept it. Say, okay, right, investigate it. Take some time and start writing down, start journaling. Just start writing down where you are struggling, why you are struggling, what's coming up for you. Take time, spend time with yourselves. I have a huge appreciation for people with busy lives. But this is going to sound extremely harsh. Oh, thank you, Chantal. Ladies, this is going to sound so harsh. But if you have time to sit for hours and hours and hours watching Netflix series, then you've got time. Netflix series is not doing anything for you and your future and getting you unstuck. It's an escape. That's what it is. It's an escape. And trust me, you're not missing out on anything if you don't watch Netflix series. I cancelled my Netflix subscription. I can't remember when, it's months ago. And I have to be honest, in the beginning it was that like FOMO thing, like, oh, what am I missing out on? Oh, people are talking about that series and that series. Hello, you're always going to miss out because it's impossible to watch all the series that's out there. It's even impossible to watch all the popular ones. You will spend hours, you will spend days, years. You will get to next year and you will look back and you will say, okay, what have I done? Oh, wow, I've watched this series and that series. And yeah, I used to do that. I have my fair share. I'm not criticizing, I'm not judging in any shape or form. I'm just saying, if you really truly want to get unstuck, if you want to move forward, if you want to grow, then something has to give. And if it's Netflix, then it's not the end of the world. And it is funny because it is actually addictive. It took a while to get out of my system. I must be 100% honest with that. It took a while to get out of my system. No, I don't miss it anymore. At all. I sit outside, I listen to the birds. I read. I do spend a lot of time working too. Because I can. Hi Danielle. Yes, I want to do one of these talking about meditation, because honestly, meditation is such a crucial thing to do. It is so important for so many different reasons. So many different reasons. It helps with stress, with anxiety, with clarity, with creativity, motivation, self-love, all these things that we struggle with as women. Helps with all of that. So I will be doing. That's why I asked the question. It was on my list of things to talk about, and I will get there. I will get there. But I truly invite you, if any of this resonated with you, if you feel stuck in any shape or form, please join my pop-up group. I am doing a 5-day challenge from the 30th of August. For 5 days, I'm going to go live at 1 o'clock every day. It's free. Ladies, it's free. All it's going to take is a bit of your time. So I'll share the link in this comment of the pop-up group. I invite you to bring as many women as you can possibly think of, because so many women are feeling stuck. I know, because I connect with so many of them. So bring your friends, even as an accountability partner. Bring your friends, come and join us. It is an amazing group of women, and here's something else that is really, really, really special about particularly what we're doing here is we're building communities. We're building communities of like-minded women where we do not feel alone anymore. These journeys can be lonely. If you start going onto a journey of self-development, self-growth, transformation, honestly, it can get lonely because you're not sure who you can talk to. You're not sure whether, I can't tell you how many times I've said to my daughter, are you ready to certify me yet? Because it's stepping out of our comfort zones, isn't it? We are doing things we're unlearning things that we've learned over many years. And we're learning to do things that we're just not used to. We're doing things that we're not used to doing. But it is necessary, right? Because what's the other side of this coin? Is, okay, so maybe I'm feeling a little bit stuck, maybe I'm feeling a little bit disillusioned, maybe I'm feeling a little bit, I'm not exactly sure what's next, I don't know, is this my life? Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life, kind of thing? If you don't do anything about it today, you're going to be feeling like that again next year, and it's going to feel even worse, and you're going to feel like that in another year or two, and you're going to look back and you're going to hopefully remember this conversation, and you're going to say, but perhaps I should have done something then already. But it's never too late. So I encourage you, come and join my group on the other side. In fact, I am going to stop doing lives on this particular group for a while. It's just life is getting a little bit busy, so you're going to have to follow me to the other side. If you are feeling stuck and if you want more of this, I will always record, I will always share back to this group. I'm not deserting this group at all, but for the next couple of weeks I am doing that challenge from the 30th of August, and yeah, so that is where my focus is going to go a little bit. Right, so I hope you learned something. I hope I helped. Please reach out. Please put a comment if something came up for you. I would love to hear back from you. Reach out to me, and otherwise just have a lovely day, and I honor you for taking this time. And please thank yourself. Just acknowledge yourself for doing this, for you, from you to you, and have a lovely day further.